Good morning, students. This is part 2 of the story His First Flight. The sun was now ascending the sky. Now, ascending the sky means the sun was now rising in the sky, climbing high, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. Blazing on his ledge that faced the south means the seagull, the young seagull was facing in the south direction, and blazing here means the sun is looking white hot. Okay, it is extremely hot condition because of the sunlight. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. Now the seagull was feeling the heat, and he was feeling the heat because he hadn't eaten anything. He was empty stomach till since the previous nightfall. Nightfall here means evening or sunset. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing. Now, what he did now? He was feeling hungry. So he stepped slowly out to the brink. Brink means edge of the ledge. See, he went to the edge of the ledge and then standing on one egg with the other leg hidden under his wing. And he hid the other leg under his wing. He closed one eye, then the other, then means he closed both his eyes and pretending to be falling asleep. Now he was pretending that he was feeling sleepy. Okay, now pretended here means make believe someone. Okay, you make someone believe that you are feeling like this. Okay, so the young Sigul was pretending, okay, making someone believe that he was falling asleep. Actually, he was showing someone who is he wants to show his parents. Still, they took no notice of him, so they here refers to his parents. So his parents still took no notice of him, of the young Sigul. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. Now there was his family just opposite to another plateau, okay, on a cliff. So he saw there his family. Among his family, he saw his two brothers and his sister. They were lying on the plateau, dozing. Dozing here means sleep lightly. So they were sleeping with their head submerged, hidden into their necks. So like this, putting their head down into their necks. His father was preening the feathers on his white back. Now, what the young Sigul's father was doing, his father was preening his feathers. Preening means making an effort to maintain feather. Only his mother was looking at him. So, no one among the family member was looking at him. Only his mother was looking at him. Now, what she was doing? She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau. Hump here means a mound of earth. Okay, a mound of earth, something like this. Okay. Her white breast pushed forward. So her mother's white breast was noticeable. It was pushed forward. Now and again she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet. Now what she was doing, she was standing on the plateau, and she was standing on a high hump, on a high mound, and there under her feet there was a fish, a piece of fish, and she was scraping each side of her beak on the rock, scraping like this. Okay, so she was scraping each side of her beak on the rock. So there was the rock and her beak, pointed one. She was scraping. The the sight of the food maddened him. Now the young Sigul saw the piece of fish under her feet, under her mother's feet. So that sight maddened him, made him mad. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. Wet it means to sharpen it. Now he also used to do the same way when he ate food earlier. Okay, like his mother, he also liked to sharpen his beak by scraping it this way now and then, now and again. Now he cried, "Ga, ga, ga." He cried, begging her to bring him some food. Ga, call, ah. She screamed. She screamed. His mother screamed back. She screamed back derisively in a manner showing someone that he or she is stupid. But he kept calling plaintively. But the young seagull, he kept calling plaintively. Plaintively here means sorrowfully. And after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. So 1 minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. What did he see? His mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. So that's why he was uttering joyfully. So he saw that his mother had picked up a piece of that fish in her beak and he was flying across to him with that fish. Now he leaned down eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet, tapping, okay, making sound with his feet. So tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. Now she was flying across to him and he just went forward, just standing on the brink of the ledge. He was leaning, bending, trying to go closer to her. But when she was just opposite to him, see here means his mother, when he came just opposite to him, he halted. She stopped. Her wings motionless, the piece of fish in her beak. So she stopped flying, she waited there, and her wings motionless, not moving, and that piece of fish in her beak, almost within the reach of his beak, okay, within the reach of the young seagull's beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. So there, okay, he waited for a minute in surprise, the young seagull. Okay, why his mother was not coming nearer, closer to his access, okay, where he can have that fish. Why? He was surprised. But his mother was not coming closer to him. She was at a distance, at a certain distance, means out of his reach. And then maddened by hunger, so he was feeling very hungry, and in hunger, okay, he was feeling like being mad. So he dived at the fish. So he jumped at the fish in the air with a loud scream. Now he is in the air. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. So he was falling downwards, outward into the space, open space, air. Then a monstrous, huge terror seized him and his heart stood still. So while he was in the air, he was thinking that he was falling downwards. Okay, then a huge terror seized his heart and his heart stopped moving. Okay, he could hear nothing. Now he could hear nothing because he was stunned. But it only lasted a minute. But that stillness of the heart stood just for a minute. And after that, what happened? The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. So the next moment he felt his wings straight outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach and against his wings. So the next moment he felt his wings spread outward. Now the wind was rushing against his breast feathers and then under his stomachs and against his wings. The wind rushing. He could feel the rush. He could feel the tips of his wings, the extreme ends of his wings cutting through the air. He was not falling headlong now. So now he was not falling headlong down, okay, as he was thinking. So his fear has somehow gone. So that's it in part 2.